What's up, Cedar Mill Youth? Welcome to our first ever Youth at Night on-site gathering. It's been a long time coming, and we're finally here in the same room looking each other face to face. I just want to say, if you get an opportunity tonight, be sure to thank your leaders for hosting your small group tonight. A couple things for you to keep in mind. If you have a phone and you want to engage in the chat during this YouTube premiered event, feel free to do that. I want to remind you, keep your masks on, stay seated, and we're just going to have a great night, and we're actually starting things off with one of the classic pranks. So check this out.
It's gonna be legit. Or here. Where are we, about where I was?
Yeah.
What's up, youth? We're out here. We're gonna ask some youth staff what they think smells better, these flowers or these flowers. Just so happens that we sprayed some fart spray on these ones. It's terrible. We're gonna go check it out. This prank's called making people smell fart spray. What's up, dude? This is for, we're doing this thing for you. Ready? So, Nick's gonna eat. We're doing this thing for you. We got 2 sets of flowers. All right. And we're taking a poll. Purple smell better or yellow smell better? Oh, you jammed. These flowers? Or these flowers?
That's terrible. What'd you do to those?
We're just gonna trust you guys. All it is a poll. Do these flowers smell better or these flowers?
Sure.
Alright, let's see.
Perfect. Kate should do it.
Why? No, I have a really sensitive nose.
That's okay.
I feel that you're making me smell something disgusting.
Why?
Why would you do that?
You laughed when he said that one smells better.
We're just taking a poll because we think that it's a psychological thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Versus
You actually need psychology.
Yeah.
You're not playing a prank on me.
No.
Those smell bad. Why did you do that to me? I told you! I told you you were doing that to me! You're so mean!
It's a psychological smell thing here.
purple flowers or hands? I love hands. Can I ask you guys a question real fast?
Ruben, will you help with youth just really quick?
These flowers? Or these flowers?
Have Ruben try it.
Dude. Smells like rotten eggs. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I would go with the jello ones.
You go with the yellow ones.
So somebody can kill you today. For what you just did to me.
Yeah. Maybe.
These purple ones? No, they're green.
Seriously, it's like a psychological thing.
Or these yellow ones?
That's nice. I like the yellow.
Yeah.
Definitely the trick.
Yeah.
These flowers?
You gotta choose one flower or the other ones.
Or these flowers? These ones?
Hi.
Or these ones?
Definitely the yellow. Yeah, I feel like subtleness that just it just gets right up into the heart of, you know. I mean, what does Jesus say? He clothes the flowers in greater splendor than Solomon.
game show. I'm your host, Hannah, and I'm here with contestants Luke Emery and Nick Mastrud. And this is your classic trivia game. No one wins this game. The only thing that the winner gets is not getting their legs waxed. The loser has to do a fat wax strip on each leg. So get pumped. Put in the chat right now who you want to win.
Let's go.
So we're gonna do this back and forth. I'll ask Luke a question, I'll ask Nick a question, and we'll see how they do. Are you guys ready? Luke, are you ready for your first question?
Oh, I'm first. All right.
Yeah,
I'm
you ready?
ready.
A popular expression goes, a bird in the hand is worth two in the what? We have A, tree, B, bush, C, window, and D, pot.
I'm gonna go with bush.
Let's see. You are correct. Nice. Okay, Nick, your first question. A well-known children's game is called Duck Duck blank. A, swan. B, goose. C, emu. D, and cover.
Goose. Goose.
You are correct.
Yeah, let's go!
The candy bar Twix PB adds what flavor to Twix? A, pancake batter. B, peach brandy. C, pickle brine. Or D, peanut butter.
I'm gonna go with D, peanut butter.
You are correct.
Ooh, nice, dude.
Nice.
Nice.
Which of these is not a Disney character? I'll be personally offended if you get this
no,
wrong.
I'm horrible at Disney. No.
This should be easy.
Okay.
A, Mickey Mouse. B, Donald Duck. C, Bugs Bunny. And D, Pluto the dog.
What? Is it D, Pluto the dog?
You are incorrect.
What? No! Seriously, what is it?
Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny is Looney Tunes, which is Warner Bros.
If you celebrate something biannually, how often do you celebrate it? Is it A, every 2 months? B, every 2 years? C, every 3 months? Or D, every 3 years?
I'm going to go with every 2 years.
Every 2 years. Let's see. You are correct.
Good work.
Nice. A Venus flytrap is a type of what? A, plant. B, frog. C, lizard. Or D, cat.
A.
A, plant. You are correct.
Boom.
Nice. Luke, sousaphone is also known as what? A, tuba. B, trumpet. C, banjo. Or D, harmonica. A sousaphone.
What was A?
Tuba.
I'm gonna go with A, tuba.
You are correct.
Oh, what?
Nice.
How'd you know that?
Yeah. Nick. In 2006, which of these internet companies was purchased by Google for $1.65 billion? Was it A, Wikipedia, B, YouTube, C, MySpace, or D, Facebook? In 2006, which of these internet companies was purchased by Google for $1.65 billion?
2006. How many billion?
1.65 billion. Do you want to use a lifeline?
Yeah.
Okay. Which one do you want to use?
I'm gonna use Siri.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
All right.
Are there some rules with this?
Yeah, I think the rule is whatever Siri will read to you, you can't read any
Yeah,
articles.
you can't look at the
No
articles or
articles?
anything. Just what she says.
Hey Siri, what company did Google purchase in 2006?
Okay, I found this on the web for what company did Google purchase in 2006. Check it out.
Can you read it to me? Hey Siri. Answer me, girl. Hey Siri. Did Google purchase Facebook in 2006?
Okay, I found this on the web for did Google purchase Facebook in 2006. Check it out.
You're not hearing me, girl. Here's the thing. I really don't think it's MySpace. I don't know why. I don't think it's MySpace. At that point, you wouldn't be wanting to purchase MySpace. Dude, I'm going with Facebook. D. Final answer.
You are incorrect.
Are you kidding me?
It was YouTube.
Is it seriously?
You can log into your YouTube. You log in with your Google. Don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Dang it. I got 2 strikes already. Are you kidding me?
Which of the following is not a Roman numeral? A is the letter M. B is the letter L. C is the letter G. And D is the letter D. Which of these is not a Roman numeral?
Wow. This is very hard.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, this one's really tricky.
G, final answer.
G, final answer. You are correct.
Do not sit like this.
Frank.
Luke's acting like the biggest teacher's pet right now. It's driving me up the wall.
In a standard American football game, how many players are allowed on the field?
Oh no. I don't know football, dude. I don't know.
Is it A, 6, B, 7, C, 9, or D, 11?
Are you,
So
you know this?
I do.
6, 7, 9, or 11. I
I-
actually don't know if I know this one.
I have to call someone, dude. On a standard game, how many people are allowed
A
on the
standard
field?
American football game. How many players are allowed on the field for each team?
For each team. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude,
Make sure you call someone that you think will answer.
I know. I'm trying. Well, duh. Oh,
Right.
answer their phone?
Right. Because
Okay.
if they don't, you won't get it.
Dude. We were just hanging out with Ryan. I'm going to call Ryan right now. Do set.
I feel like he knows. He likes football. From what I remember.
He's probably going to think it's a prank call.
Probably.
Nicholas.
Ryan, dude, you're live on a video right now, but I have just a few seconds to ask you a question of trivia that I need help with.
Let's go, dude. Phone a friend.
Dude, this is stupid that I don't know this question, but the question is, how many players are allowed on the field during a football game? How many players from each team is allowed on the field?
Oh, 11. It's 11, baby.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Ryan. 11, final answer.
Dude, you're correct.
Oh,
You got it.
Oh.
Thank you, Ryan. And this is like the $500,000 question.
I have to get 2 wrong to tie. So that's a good feeling.
Keep telling yourself that.
Okay, Luke. Which of these African countries is located south of the equator? Is it A, Chad, B, Mali, C, Angola, or D, Cameroon? Do you want me to repeat them?
Just give me the 50-50.
Okay, let me see. Okay, so I'll eliminate. It's not Chad or Cameroon,
So what's left?
Mali or Angola.
I think Angola, final answer.
You are correct.
Ah!
Okay, Okay, so since Luke got that one correct, there is no chance for him to lose now. So we are going to wax Nick's legs.
Forget you, Disney. Forget you.
All right, Nick, put those legs up here. Dude, do you want to take it off yourself?
No. I think you get
The satisfaction.
Wait, count me down, dude. You got this crazy look in your eye.
3,
Dude,
2.
do you want to rip up or back this way?
It says to rip up. I read the directions. 3,
Oh,
2, 1.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 1.
Oh, that was slow. Ah! That was so painful. That was like slow motion.
Throughout my life, people remembering my name has meant a lot to me. I can still remember when I was a middle schooler and I went to youth group for the first time. There was this really cool guy named Jesse. He was in his 20s. He was the youth pastor. And up to that point in my life, I don't really feel like there was many spaces that I'd walk into and people would remember my name. But when I went to youth group, Jesse always remembered my name. He'd always be like, "Luke, what's up, man? How's your week been?" He would get to know me. And then the next week I'd come back and he'd remember what's going on in my life and he'd remember my name and always celebrate me when I walked in. I also remember going to high school and I had this crazy principal named Mr. Peacock. I mean crazy in a good way. Mr. Peacock was awesome because before freshmen would come in every single year, he would go through a middle school yearbook and he would memorize all the names and all the faces of the incoming freshmen. I still remember to this day when I walked into high school, a little nervous, and my high school principal was like, "Good morning, Luke." My mind was blown. I had never met this man, and he knew my name. Some of you are thinking, that's not cool or endearing, that's just creepy. But to me, it was really cool. It made me feel close to Mr. Peacock, and throughout the years, I got to know him a little better. And it's so wild because my siblings who had attended school 8 and 12 years before me, he even remembered their names still. That guy must be a super genius. He was the man. I also think about when I lived in Boise and my wife Danica nannied for this family. And there was the cutest little girl that she nannied named Elizabeth. And she called me by my name, but she also called me Lukapook, which was like the most endearing, wholesome thing ever. Honestly, the sweetest thing. I think when little kids come up with nicknames and stuff, it's so sweet because there's like no strings attached. They just are like so wholesome and so loving. It was the best. And then she had a little brother, and I got a name at the same time that his family members got names. So he called his mom and dad the typical mama, dada. Called his brother like Bubba for some reason. His name was James. But I got a name, and it was Lala. The coolest thing ever, right? This little baby calling me by my name, even if he wasn't very good at it. It was just the sweetest thing. I think that names are special because when someone knows your name, it means that they know you. And isn't that what we all want? To be known. To be really known. Like to have the kind of people in your life who know your quirks, who you can joke around with, and who you can be yourself with without any fear of judgment. Some of you right now are like, "Man, I wish I had those kinds of friends in my life." I want you to know something. I want you all to know this. Jesus is like that for you. Jesus knows you. Not only does he know you, he knows you by name. I want to tell you a story today from the book of Luke, and we're going to be in this story for the next few weeks. It's a story about a man named Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus lived in a town called Jericho. And growing up, Zacchaeus was often overlooked, I believe. I think that It says that he was short or small in stature. He was probably the last to be picked on the dodgeball team. Probably didn't have a lot of girls chasing after him. But when Zacchaeus got older, Zacchaeus became a tax collector. Some of you are thinking, what's the big deal? My mom's a tax collector. But being a tax collector in this day and age was different, because to be a tax collector was to be a crook and to be a traitor. Zacchaeus had all this pent up and built up anger towards people for looking past him his whole life. And so when he grew up, he became a tax collector, which means that he worked for the Romans who were in rule over his people. And so he was a traitor by working for them, but he also could tax the people and skim any amount of money off the top he wanted. He just raised if he wanted more money, he would just raise the taxes. And so he was despised. Zacchaeus was one of those guys that didn't like other people, and other people didn't like him. And if he was alive today, he might be one of those people that you'd be like, man, Zacchaeus is a lost cause. It would be so crazy if Jesus ever got a hold of Zacchaeus' heart. Maybe you can think of some of those people right now where you're like, I can never imagine them turning their life around. They're just so mean and so rotten. And maybe for you, you're even thinking, I am like that. Maybe for you, you've pushed other people away. You've put on this mean, tough exterior. Maybe because people have been mean to you. Maybe you are like Zacchaeus. But to move on with the story, Zacchaeus was in Jericho, and one day he heard that Jesus was coming to town. At this point in Jesus' ministry, Jesus was a big deal. Jesus had already done lots of miracles. He had even raised someone from the dead, and his teachings were growing super popular. Jesus was a rock star, and he was rolling into Jericho, and everybody wanted a piece of him. Everybody wanted to see Jesus, even if it was from a distance. And so Zacchaeus, this little guy, climbed up a tree so that he could scope Jesus out and see what all the commotion was about. And it says in Luke 19, verse 5, it says this. Jesus is rolling into town, and he says this. It says, when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for I must stay at your house today. Jesus saw Zacchaeus. And when I say he saw him, I mean he really saw him. Not as everyone else saw Jesus, or not as everyone else saw Zacchaeus, but Jesus saw Zacchaeus as Zacchaeus really was. And I want you to know, no matter where you're at today, that Jesus sees you that way. Not in the way that everybody else sees you, but as you really are, as you're really meant to be. And as we enter into this series, I want you to understand this. Jesus wants a close and personal relationship with you. Maybe for some of you, that's difficult to believe because when you think of the God of the universe, you think he's probably too busy for me, probably too busy to be a close and personal friend. Or you might think, I don't want to be that close with God because he's just going to come down and put all these rules and restrictions on me and be judgmental. Some of you might think, God doesn't want to know me because of all the things that I've done. And some of you may not even believe in him. But I want to encourage you today. There is a God that wants to know you. And there is a Jesus that sees you for who you really are. I want to encourage you, even if it's for the first time, to begin taking steps towards this God. One way that you can do that is by asking your small group leader questions about who God is, bringing up these doubts, these struggles that you may have in entering into a relationship with a God like this. Maybe for you, you know it in your head, but you just don't feel it in your heart. Now I would ask you to take a step closer this week by reading the story of Zacchaeus and placing yourself in that story, knowing that there is a God who will walk up to you and call you by name. Would you this week, if it's in your head but not in your heart, would you work on transferring that knowledge to your heart? And maybe ask God. It says that if you seek him, he will draw near to you. Ask him to draw near to you. As you seek him, I believe that you will find that there is a God that knows you. And if you've already experienced this kind of love from God, you already know the power and the benefit of being in a close-up and personal relationship with God. My ask for you is this: would you become a partner in God's work for your friends, for your family, for the people around you? There are people out there that don't know that there's a God that wants to be close up and personal with them. And you can be a conduit. You can be someone that can bring God into their life by seeing them. You can be like my principal, just simply by knowing their name and wanting to get to know them. You can show them that there's someone that cares. And you can show them that behind the person that cares is someone who's close to God and has a God that knows them and wants to know them too. That knows you and wants to know them too. It says in Matthew, the first command is to love God, and the second command is to love others. Imagine if we became the kind of youth ministry that really saw people the way that Jesus sees people. Not for their tough exterior, but for the people that... What if we became the kind of youth ministry that really saw people like Jesus did? That we wouldn't just see their tough exterior, but we would see the person that God sees when he looks at them. That we became a kind of youth ministry that was all-inclusive, no matter who the person was, that we would make the extra effort and go the extra mile to remember the person's name and to welcome them into our community. Wouldn't that be a game changer? Let me pray for you as we head into small group. God, I pray that we would be a kind of youth ministry that loves others and that feels loved by you. God, I pray for those listening to this message tonight that they would draw near to you, that even if they know it in their head, but they don't know it in their heart, God, would you show them that they are loved by you, that you want to enter into a close-up and personal relationship with them. And God, would you empower the rest of us who are already walking in relationship with you to be a conduit, a lifeline for those who are looking for a relationship with a God like you. God, would you help us point others to you so that they can be filled up with the hope and love of a relationship with you. We love you so much. It's in your name that we pray these things. Amen. At this time, we'll be heading into small group. We're going to discuss this first message. Thanks so much for joining us.